All right. I'm pleased to have Mr. Nemutamvuni. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Please introduce yourself and what you do.
I am Mashudu Nemutamvuni. I am from Limpopo. I studied computer science at the University of Western Cape. I work as a business intelligence analyst at PSG Insure, and I am interested in artificial intelligence.
The moment you said business intelligence sounds CIA.
That's what I think. That's what
I'm sure you get
so.
that comment a lot when you introduce yourself.
Not really. A lot of people don't understand business intelligence, so I have to break it down into data analyst.
Sure,
That's the thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really cool title to call yourself.
It is.
I would like to call myself. I'm a engineering intelligence. Oh my god!
Yeah, it is a really good one.
We'll actually get into the business intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Computer science. Where did the interest start?
All right. So when I was in high school, I didn't want to study computer science. Actually, my first option was medicine. But then when I was in grade 12, I got sick and I was hospitalized for like 3 weeks. And then I asked the question, is this the place that I want to be in for the rest of my life? And the answer was no, I don't want to work here.
Sure.
So that's where I started thinking about something else that I can do. And then I went to things that I'm interested in. I've always been interested in science fiction, right? I watch a lot of movies for science fiction, and I've read a lot of books in science fiction. So, and then that's where the interest for computer science came from. I was like, okay, let me just find something that I'm going to be passionate about. And then, just started applying for computer science.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you start doing computer science. What is it that you like the most in varsity? And what is it that's shocking you?
I think in computer science, you learn a lot, actually. And one thing that you're going to realize is that you can't do it alone. You're going to need other people because there's just a lot of things to learn and there's just a lot of things that you need to do. And then you're going to realize that there's so much that you don't know. So that's where collaboration comes in, because I remember I worked with a lot of people to finally attain my degree. There's a lot of people who were there who we were doing the same course with. So yeah, that's the thing.
Okay. And then what is sort of the highlight that you can say about computer science? And also maybe any tips that you can give graduates who are listening.
All right. I think the tip that I can give to people who want to study computer science or who are studying computer science is do a lot of research and be open to learning. It's like, don't just focus on what is provided by the lecturer. Go try your best to find more information, because if you be like, our lecturer said this, and you focus on that, you will be limiting yourself. But then if you try to find more information, if you try to go to other people and be like, okay, you are good at this, can you assist me with just sharing the knowledge, and how do you do it? You see, because there's a lot of ways of solving a problem in computer science. So that is what I realized, that there is so many ways of solving a problem in computer science. So yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, so you mentioned that you were just like, you liked science fiction and reading books which are science fiction, and just loving watching movies, sci-fi movies. Did studying it, graduating in it sort of meet that expectation, or is it something where you feel like, okay, maybe it was sort of a miss? Yeah.
I wouldn't think it was a miss, but then computer science is challenging. There's a lot of pressure. It's like there were so many times where I thought I should just change my course and go to something else. But then now that I've graduated, I feel like it was worth it. Yeah, it was really worth it.
Okay, so you start practicing now computer science. What, maybe before we get to computer to the practice, I just want you to explain what is computer science. Just try to explain it to in layman's terms.
I remember reading a book that was called Think Like a Computer Scientist. So the way he explained it is like the automation of something that if you were doing manually would take a lot of time. So it's like the simple, you are trying to make things simple. So it's like you have a task, now you want to make this task a little bit simpler. So I think computer science is all about making life easier. It's like,
so for example, if I want to make my designs for my posters, there is a program that you can write that can actually
there's a program that can be written to perform that task in a better way. Yeah.
So that's basically computer science.
Computer science is like that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So you start practicing, and maybe can you please just explain, because I guess you're a blessing to the podcast, and I think the workforce are actually excited to have you as well, because I think you're the first, I guess. I'm sort of getting ahead of myself. So yeah, you're the first data analyst that we have.
Yeah.
So it's really nice because at least you just get us into the world of data analysis, right?
Yeah.
Now I forgot my question. It's fine. Let me just go to the question that I wanted to ask earlier on. So you start working. What do you start by doing, and what do you do on a day-to-day?
All right. So on a day-to-day, let me try to explain the entire business and where I come in.
Yeah.
So it's an insurance company.
Okay.
And then we have brokers and we have partners who are doing business for us. So we don't deal with clients directly. So our partners and brokers do that for us. So there is data that they have to send to us at the end of the month or weekly. So that data has to be analyzed. That data has to be cleaned. Like there's something that is called data cleaning or data cleansing, and it has to be interpreted, and it has to inform us as to where we need to improve and all that. So what I do is that I make sure that the data that is coming in from our partners and brokers is accurate and is consistent. If there are things that don't make sense on the data, I have to investigate and be like, why is this there? So sometimes we have to compare the data that we have with the data that has been submitted by our partners and be like, this doesn't make sense. Why is it like this? And then we have to communicate with our partners and be like, why is this here? And then they have to share more information with us as to what is happening. So that is basically what I do on a day-to-day.
If you can you please give me an actual instance of like a scenario which you can paint for me, and without giving too much information that can be a problem for you?
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that when I was sharing the previous information.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what basically happens is that, let's say you are insured with us.
Okay.
Right? You are insured with our company. But
so what are we talking about? Are we talking about insuring a car or insuring?
Yeah,
what are we insuring?
Insuring a car.
Okay.
We do non-life insurance.
Okay.
So we insure a house, cars, and commercial, industrial, and all those kind of things. So we don't deal with life insurance. So let's say you insure your car and then something happens to your car. What you do is that you go to the partner that you registered with or that you signed up with, and then you'll be like, I'm lodging a claim, right? And then the partner will submit that claim with us, and then we're gonna investigate that claim and be like, okay, there was actually a fault. Sometimes we need to send someone out there to check if there was actually something that happened. Sometimes we're gonna need statements from the police and all those kind of things, and then investigate. Once the payment has been made to that policy, and the partner receives the payments, they have to pay the person, the client. The client. So that information has to be sent back to us again to analyze that, okay, we paid this amount of money to the client. to the broker, and then this amount of money has been paid to the client to make sure that everything is accurate, and
So instead of tracking the money,
not just the money, but there's a lot of things that happens in the business, like from registering a claim or to register a client, just like that.
oh, okay. So that all that information, is it that part where when someone becomes a risk client, for example, so you manage something like that to say, okay,
No, I don't manage that actually. There are
Okay.
people who do that.
Okay.
They are on the underwriting department.
okay,
So what I do is I just deal with the data.
okay,
Yeah. And try to, as a business intelligence analyst, I try to find better ways of operating the business.
okay.
Yeah.
So are you? I'm sorry for asking, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm just trying to understand a bit in terms of I guess this is for, because usually when I ask questions, it's me thinking for the listeners, but I feel like this is for me. I don't know if we should probably take it out of offline, but I think for the sake of the conversation, maybe let's put it offline so that I can just understand for myself properly. So, business intelligence, what is it that you like the most about the work that you do?
So what I like about business intelligence is the idea of being involved into the business as well, because you are helping the business succeed or to become better.
Sure.
So what I do is that I need to analyze the data that they have and try to find better ways for operations. So if for 20 years they were operating in a certain way and their data is showing that there hasn't been any growth or it's constant, what I do is that I try to find a better way to utilize the data and provide a better way for the business to succeed or to start growing exponentially. That's what we do basically. So we try to find better ways of operations. Yeah.
I'm not too sure if you are aware of industrial engineering.
I've heard of it.
They do something similar to that. My question would have been, is your work similar to industrial engineers, where you sort of make each and every process much faster so that at least you sort of save time if saving time, or saving money if you're saving money, something like that?
I wouldn't think that they are the same. Okay, let's put it this way. There's a shop, right?
Okay.
Let's say we have a shop, and then we notice that in our shop there are certain products that get that are in demand actually, and then there are others that are not really in demand. So what you do as a business intelligence analyst is that you want to keep a high stock in those products that are in high demand than the others that are being thrown away or something like that. So that is where business intelligence comes in. You are analyzing everything that is happening in the business and you find a way to minimize loss and then maximize profit, and then make sure that all the operations are being done in a way that utilizes or makes our operations much better. So yeah, it's like that. I'm not sure how industrial engineering does it, but it's possible that it revolves around that cycle.
I think basically someone explained, what do you call this? Someone explained industrial engineering as process improvement. Right.
Okay.
I feel like it's almost similar, but I think you guys are dealing with different animal, dealing with money. They deal with money, but I don't think at the scale that you guys do.
Yeah.
Data analysis as well. They do that.
Okay.
But I think moving along, right, is what does it take to become a good business intelligence officer?
I think you need to learn. You need to learn as much as you can, because there are 4 things that you're going to be working with. That's Python, Excel, pivot tables, and SQL.
Okay.
So if you master these things, I'm sure that you can become a very good business intelligence analyst. And the good thing about that is that if you master this, you can also become a data analyst as well. So a lot of people are familiar with data analysts, they're not familiar with business intelligence analyst. But the good thing is that if you are a business intelligence analyst, you can work as a data analyst as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing those tools. Are those tools things that you can actually just study now
Sorry.
as a student? You said Python, SQL, and the other two. Is it something that you can actually learn before you start working, or you have to be in an institution to start practicing?
Yeah, in varsity I learned Python and SQL. With Excel, everyone does Excel. Like in varsity, you're gonna find yourself doing Excel one way or another. So
Can I call you guys an Excel guru of some sort?
not really. One thing about Excel that I've realized is that there's always gonna be someone who knows much better than you.
Sure.
Yeah, there's just
Okay.
a lot of things to do in Excel.
Yeah,
It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing because I think it's also some form of coding as well, right?
Yeah, it does have
The
coding as
developer
well.
side,
Yeah, it does. It
Okay.
does. It's really interesting. There's just a lot of things that you can do in Excel, and a lot of people haven't realized that.
Yeah, I think, and I'm also doing my school fees in Excel. When I have tasks, I sort of go online and just search,
Yeah.
how do you do this, and find
Yeah.
someone who actually shows you how to do it.
Yeah.
It's actually fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think you were explaining what it takes to become a very good
Business intelligence analyst.
yes. So what are the tiers? How do you grow as a computer scientist?
Related to business intelligence analyst.
Maybe you can start generally as a computer scientist. Then maybe you can also do it. Also explain also the business intelligence.
All right. So the method that I use is I'm a researcher. I like to find things out. So I'm always researching about the latest technology and all that. So that has helped me to grow as a computer scientist, and where I'm working right now as a business intelligence analyst. So I always try my best to keep myself updated to the latest technology, artificial intelligence. That's the reason why I was telling you about Gemini. It's a new thing. I think it was introduced in January, if not last year, December. So I just try my best to stay updated. I think that's the most important thing that.
So just coding, putting nice prompts there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually cool. Speaking of Gemini and AI, how can you, this is sort of us getting into AI,
Yeah.
a conversation, right? How does business intelligence incorporate AI in you getting the results that you actually want?
So with business intelligence, it's all about finding ways that are that make the process much better, or that makes operations much better. So with the introduction of artificial intelligence, I think they intertwine, like they are one thing. It's like you can't just separate them. If you take artificial intelligence as a way of doing things in a much better way, and business intelligence is a way of making a business operate in a better way. So the two are not so different from each other. So now when you integrate them, working with business intelligence and artificial intelligence, imagine what you can create with that.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Isn't it a worry for you guys that you can create or you can automate your work so well that it takes away your job?
No, it's not possible actually, because each and every automation has to be monitored. You can't just automate something and walk away from it, unless if it's a artificial general intelligence. That's something very powerful. It can learn on its own, and it can learn as fast as a human being. So we're not on that level yet. We can't create an artificial general intelligence. So every AI that we can create now, or every automation that we can make now, it needs someone to be there to make sure that it's doing the accurate job. And if they are something that doesn't make sense, or if there's something that doesn't make sense, you have to go there and make sure that you solve that. So the AI that we have right now is called a weak AI. It can't just operate on its own. So there's no way that it's gonna take away from our jobs.
You see, when it comes to jobs and AI, I've always tried to, for the workforce out there, I've always tried to avoid the AI talk because Staker Podcast is a platform for workers who are working,
Yeah.
and AI is sort of like this dragon in its lair. And Jordan Peterson says that you must slay the dragon in this lair. But I think I'm not too sure if it's gonna be possible to actually slay the dragon. But in our case, I feel like AI is not gonna take most jobs, but it's gonna reduce the number of workers who are going to work, because someone to monitor is just one person to monitor.
Yeah, that's true.
But right now, maybe there's more people who are actually working. That's
Yeah.
what I've just realized, that AI won't take away the jobs at the moment, but it will reduce the number of workers because businesses are sort of automating
Yeah.
almost everything. So that means you just have one person
Mm.
like you who's in a business intelligence officer who just runs all the data and you sort of advise what's the way forward for the.
Yeah.
So which means this is a sort of a good thing for us to say that, guys, please, if you're doing engineering, stop doing it and go to. So maybe as we are concluding in AI, I just want you. What's your thought on AI? Where do you see AI going the next maybe 5 to 10 years?
All right. I think I can just start with the idea of jobs, right? What I've realized with a lot of jobs and AI is that in a lot of jobs you still need human intelligence. There's a lot of things that needs someone to manually handle the information, right? So although it's a concern, a worldwide concern, that AI is going to take away a lot of jobs, I think that it's going to actually create a lot of them in a way. Because I was reading an article when ChatGPT was introduced, and then they talked about a ChatGPT developer. That's a new job. It wasn't there in 2018. It's a new thing. So there are so many jobs that were introduced when new AIs start rolling out. So in terms of in the next 5 to 10 years, that's a scary one actually, because a lot of companies are working on AI and they're developing more advanced AI than what we currently have, such as ChatGPT and Gemini. Those are very weak AI. There are companies that are now focusing on artificial general intelligence. That is an AI that is above human intelligence. So when you get to that point, you know that this thing can learn on its own. It doesn't need a human. So if we create that and it escapes into the internet, that's where we should get more frightened.
Yeah.
It will be hectic for us. So, yeah.
I think there's a guy called Eliezer. I don't know if you follow him.
No.
There's a guy called Eliezer. I just forgot his name. He explains it very well.
Yeah.
In terms of how difficult is it for any AI to sort of come out of wherever it is.
Yeah.
But I think right now we have sort of created enough things to enable AI to still work in some form of what do you call this thing? Where they keep data farms or something like that.
Database and warehouse.
Yes, warehouses, something like that.
Yeah.
So there's still a long way, because it still needs that to sort of run all that information and all that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because there's like a switch button. They talk about having a switch button to switch it off of some sort.
Yeah.
So having it in a robot or whatever, it's still a long way to go, because we still have battery problems.
Yeah.
If it's in a robot, how is it going to work?
But that's the thing with artificial general intelligence. Doesn't work like that. Even
Okay.
if you shut down the power systems, if it escapes into the internet, it's done. Because with the internet, there isn't just one thing controlling the internet. The internet is very broad.
Sure.
We don't even understand how the internet works. It's very big and broad. So if we create an AI and it escapes into the internet, we're screwed. There's nothing that we can do. That's the fear that a lot of people have.
The next conversation would be is AI for us or not against us? And what's its understanding of the effects of human beings on Earth, and how does that play in the bigger picture? I think people like Lex Friedman, they've played around with these ideas.
Yeah.
And I guess for those who are listening to this conversation, I think it's something totally different to what we sort of talk about.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a topic, not necessarily having to sort of an interview back and forth. But I guess we might as well just allow ourselves to discuss some of these things, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's going to affect our jobs.
Yeah.
And we have centered our lives and livelihood and meaning around a job. That's why when, especially in South Africa, when you don't have a job, you get a lot of people who are doing substance abuse and going into depression, and also losing some of our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So the biggest hope on our side is, let's hope this AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, is on our side, and maybe creates a better system, which we are sort of working together with the with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So moving along to some of the stuff that you are working on, you have a startup company. Please just explain what you do and your services, and also what also inspired you to start to go into that route.
All right. So the reason why I started First Light Networks and Technologies.
What is it called?
First Light Networks and Technologies.
Okay.
So last year I applied a lot of jobs for computer science, what I studied. And I did a lot of interviews, but nothing was happening. I remember one interview that was so good that I thought it's the best. I still think that that's the best interview that I've ever done. It was so perfect. Even the HR person said it a few weeks later. She emailed me with regards to another job. And then I went to that interview for the other job, and then that was the worst. So I did a lot of interviews last year until I got to a point where I was like, now I'm done. I'm no longer applying for any job. I need to start something of my own. So that is when I was like, okay, what is it that a lot of people are suffering from, or what do they want the most? And I realized that they want backup powers, or they want access to new technologies and stuff. So that is when I talked with this other guy, and then we were like, okay, we can start something. And when we wanted to start, we were starting with something small. I remember when I was designing the website, we just wanted maybe 2-3 products. And then I started communicating with manufacturers and providers, tech providers. And then everything just started rolling out. Like there were so many products that I couldn't even place all of them in the website. So yeah, the reason why I started it was because it was hard to get a perfect job. I was working, but I wasn't earning that well. So I was like, let me try to find something.
And then how is it going so far? And what are the... Okay, let me start with how's it going so far?
So far, I think it's going really well. Although I think we are lagging on marketing. Yeah, because I have a lot of things that I need to focus on right now. So, but then so far so good in terms of what I had anticipated and how it's going now. I feel like we're on the right track. So yeah.
What is the biggest challenges that you have in your First Light?
Finding customers. As I mentioned, that the issue with
That's marketing.
marketing.
Sure.
Yeah. So if we can't market efficiently, then we won't attract a lot of clients, and that's where I feel like we're struggling.
Highlights. What are your highlights?
Uh, it's not easy.
Business is not easy.
Business is not easy.
Apparently, they say
That's the
it's
thing.
lonely. It's a very lonely journey.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's a very lonely one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because before you make it, or when you are just on the bottom, like trying to find your way, there's no one who's going to help you. It's like there's no one. That's the reason why we are not attracting a lot of clients or something like that. There is no one who recognizes you. But then when you start shooting up, everyone will be like, I know that guy. I bought my laptop from him and something like that. So that we are on that stage where we are waiting for that breakthrough that's going to give us a good edge on the market.
How do you keep yourself motivated?
That's a good one. So as a writer and someone who's really interested in philosophy, I keep myself motivated by thinking of the eventuality of death.
Eventuality of death.
Yeah,
Okay.
the idea that I'm here now and I won't be here in 100 years, that makes me want to work. Like, I want to do everything now. If there's something that comes now, if there's an idea, I want to pursue it now. I don't want to wait for tomorrow. I don't want to wait for next week. I just want to do it now because I know that I might not have the longest time that I think I have. Yeah, that's the thing.
You know that answer actually reminds me of one of a quote which I think my mentor loves quoting.
Yeah.
He says, "Life shouldn't be this. At the end of your life, it shouldn't be this thing. Shouldn't be this thing where you're well taken care of, and sort of like driving into the sunset.
Yeah.
Scenario.
Yeah.
And I'm probably butchering the actual quote.
Yeah.
But he says that, but life should be, at the end of your life, you should be sort of like a worn out, tired car.
Yeah.
And the last words that you say is, what a hell of a ride.
Yeah. It was worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Would you sort of say you resonate with that?
I do a lot.
Okay.
It's like I want to reach the end of my life and be like, this was worth it. I got no regrets.
You spent yourself.
Yeah.
You went for everything that you thought of. Yeah.
I went for everything. The music that I had inside me, I took it out to the world.
Sure.
That's what I want to achieve.
And I think that's maybe a lighter reference is Miles Monroe, who talks about the most written. The grave is the most richest place because it has unwritten books and all that.
Yeah.
And I guess since the style of our podcast is sort of different, I think for the listeners out there, the workforce, this is sort of a motivation that he is one of our brothers here, Mr. Mashudu, who is saying that, guys, let's go in the midst of not having a job. You started your own startup company, and now it's pushing. It has started, and there is like hopeful of how you can see how it can grow.
Yeah.
What is the biggest thing that you have learned from that way of thinking, and how has it helped you?
I think one thing that I've learned when I was developing first light networks and technology, I learned that nothing stands alone. And you as a person, you can't just stand alone. You need other people. So everything works together. Everything is a connection. That is the reason why I try my best to get more information on whatever I'm doing. So I needed to get more information on the business that I'm going to be operating on. I needed to get more information on the products that I'm going to be selling and all those kind of things. I couldn't just stand away and be like, okay, I'm just going to be selling a product that I don't even know what it does or whatever. So everything in the world is connected. So in that way that you just need to learn what is going to work for you, and you try your best to make that information work. You see, just try your best to notice all the things that are going to work for you. Don't just focus on one thing and be like, okay, we're just going to be doing this. Try to find other things that are going to work out for you.
Awesome. I think maybe in closing is, you said you're a philosopher, and at least you're a philosopher who actually writes. There is your book, which is on its way. What's the title of the book? And please just give us a trailer so that at least we can also go get it when it comes out.
So technically, I'm not allowed to share the title of the book before.
Okay, no problem.
But it's all about life. So it's about life from the beginning up to the end. So you can think of life as an individual, or you can think of life as the universe, or as Earth, all of us here at this time, at this moment. So when I wrote it, my approach was purely philosophical. I didn't want to include my beliefs. I didn't want to include what I think about it was just my thoughts. Okay. Yeah. It was just my thoughts and just that. So from the beginning up until you die, because we all know that we're going to be dead very soon. So
Sure.
I think it's going to be a very good book. That is the reason why it's getting published by Olympia Publishers, who are based in England. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, that's actually fascinating. I'm just looking at the time now, but what is it that was the most challenging writing, and what is it that you enjoy the most whilst working on your book?
The challenges that I still face them, is writer's block. So
It's
writer's block. It's
okay.
like you're blocked. You can't produce anything. You just look at the paper.
The writer's block. Yeah.
Yeah. You just
sure.
look at the paper and be like, what am I gonna write here? It happens a lot. But then one thing that I enjoy about writing is just taking something from my thoughts into the paper. It's a very good feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really amazing when you read everything and you be like, is this coming from my mind? Yeah. So I try my best to make sure that my work is original. Although I might do research and be like, okay, this and that and that.
So fact check.
This writer said this and this, but then I want to keep my work original. This is coming from my thoughts. You see, so yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you so
on
much.
the journey. It really sounds like an adventure. It sounds like you're an adventurous guy. I like that. It's really cool to sort of see your tribe of some sort.
Yeah.
I know Penwell, the Black Pen. He says that you must find your tribe and sort of link up with the tribe, and it's sort of like it motivates you to see that, okay, there's also people like you out there. I think you're also part of my tribe. I can see it. It's really exciting to see it. And myself and the workforce are wishing you the best moving forward.
Thank you so much.
And maybe this will be a very nice way to sort of close the podcast on a high. You have been nominated top 40. Please explain what is it that you're nominated in, and how can maybe the workforce contribute to that?
All right. So I've been nominated on the 40 Under 40 Awards for Africa. So on the under the category of mobile and telecom and software development. So this is coming from the company that I started last year. So the other thing that we do is that we design websites, and we are also focusing on software development as well. And solo communication. Under telecommunication, what we do is that we sell SIM cards, uncapped SIM cards, and Wi-Fi as well, fiber connections. Are you familiar with fiber?
Yes.
Yeah, so we provide them as well. I collaborated with Web Africa. It's where I was actually working last year. So all our clients, get connected through Web Africa for fiber. So yeah, that's the category that I was nominated under.
Well, congratulations on that. And all the best moving forward. And how can we, as the workforce, contribute in terms of voting? How does it work?
Yeah, if you go to Google and just search 40 under 40 Africa, it will come up, and then you just go to the category mobile and telecom and software development. There are only 3 people there. There's I'm one of those 3.
Sure.
You just go there and make sure that you vote for me.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think what
I
we'll
would
do is
appreciate
we'll
that
also add the link on
Yeah.
the podcast so
Yeah.
at least they can just vote from there.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We got to learn about business intelligence and the work that you're doing in First Light. It's
Yeah.
First Light, right?
First Light, yeah.
Yes. And the question that I always ask my guest is what has been the recurring theme in your career and how has it helped you?
Sorry.
What has been the recurring theme in your career and how has it helped you?
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Okay. What is it that has been consistent growing in your career that you've seen that, okay, this, I think I've always been seeing this in my career and how has it helped you?
I think one thing that always comes up is artificial intelligence, as
Okay.
you mentioned. So a lot of things just revolve around artificial intelligence because that's where we are heading, whether we like it or not. Everything that we are doing now is gonna get automated one way or another, maybe in the next 5 years or 10 or 100. So that has helped me to develop a way of thinking, as in I just want to find a better way of doing everything that I do. So even in writing, I try my best to find a better way to write. Even at where I work, it's like I try my best to find the best way of doing something. So I think it has helped me a lot. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming through. It was really nice having you and all the best moving forward.
Thank you so much for having me once again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you around. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I appreciate you taking time and tuning in and be part of our community. We get to share ideas, stories, and perspectives through this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it and found something valuable in it. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your family and friends. I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode. Until then, take care. This is Stega Podcast signing out. See you next time.